and welcome to Straight Grown Talk. Today is a special show. We will be joined by Mr. David Washington shortly, but we're getting down to serious business today. As many of you know, that in the state of Georgia, every month, the first Tuesday, we are facing foreclosure. Today, I brought my special guest on, Mr. David Washington, to discuss the real estate issues that we have on in Georgia. I would love to get straight into what we're coming to discuss today. As many of you know, that we have been promoting this a lot. Mr. Washington is an expert in drama. He deals with all issues such as short sales, modifications, trust, in regards to real estate. He deals with a whole lot of complex issues. So any type of drama, he is our expert today. So we will sit back, listen. We'll be right back momentarily, and we'll get straight to business.
Real Estate Consultants and Advisors is a different type of real estate brokerage firm. From our educational materials and workshops to our expertise in handling complicated real estate matters such as foreclosure, short sales, probate, divorce, and other stressful issues, we are the innovators in the real estate industry, offering specialized services. Whether it's property management, buying your new home, investing, or simply a distressed homeowner, let Kipland Real Estate Consultants and Advisors help you achieve your real estate needs.
Hi, we're back at Straight Grown Talk. I'm here with Mr. David Washington. Mr. Washington, please share a little bit of information about your expertise and who you are.
Okay, first of all, my name is David Washington. I'm the president and qualifying broker for Kipling Real Estate Consultants and Advisors. We're located in Stone Mountain. My expertise really is the word drama associated with an address. That means foreclosures, short sales, loan modifications. If you're trying to keep your home, I'm probably one of the first people you should call. If you are in a complicated situation such as a divorce or a probate related issue, divorce and probate is very unique because it consists of always more than one person. You can't split a house, but you can certainly split the proceeds. I am an author. One of my books is called Mastering the Short Sale Game, 8 Simple Steps to a Simplified Short Sale. The book that I'm currently working on is A Divorce in Real Estate. Now, this book motivated me for several reasons. Number one, most people when they're going through a divorce have financial issues. A lot of times there's homes involved, children. At one point you loved each other, you bought the property, you didn't foresee getting a divorce, but the reality is it happens. Regardless of why it happened, it happens. A lot of times mortgage payments aren't being made. Property falls into a foreclosure state. Someone is emotionally detached from the property. Someone is emotionally attached to the property. At the bottom line, there's a portion of my book that's called Shaking Hands All the Way to the Closing Table. And this book is designed to talk about the issues pertaining to your home and going through a divorce. And it's about navigating and making that a successful type transaction, opposed to you're going through a divorce and you in a foreclosure state, your credit is being affected. This is a very complicated real estate community that we're in. We have various different administrations that negatively impacts what we're going through. The Obama administration came out with several safeguards to help people keep their homes, but the reality of it is it only work for a select few. If you were an investor and you bought properties, a lot of folks didn't know that there were investor modifications available. Homeowners, there were various types of modification programs that were available, but my company specializes in what happens when those things don't go right.
Okay, so without further ado, since you seem to jump right into the meat and juicy of this whole broadcast, is I want people that are listening and you have any questions for us, we are live. We would love to answer those questions. We love to do this. We love dealing with drama every day. I work with Mr. Washington as a consultant in his office, and we both do the same thing. So we hear a lot of people consistently calling us every day in regards to their everyday drama and issues. This show today is specifically talking about Foreclosure Tuesday, which is actually just 2 days away. We really want to talk about how you can possibly stop your foreclosure in the next 2 days. We're also going to talk about a lot of other issues, but today we're going to talk about those issues. So if you would like to call in, please give us a call. We are live at 470-251-4343. Again, that's 470-251-4343. Now, Mr. Washington, give me a little bit of detail, or our audience, detail about how and what happens at a Foreclosure Tuesday sale.
Oh my goodness. In Georgia, as well as in Texas, and Georgia and Texas are the only two states that are non-judicial foreclosure states. The foreclosures take place the first Tuesday of every month. This is also a no right of redemption state. So that means when a property is foreclosed on Tuesday morning, the auction, by the way, starts at 10 a.m. and it ends at 4 p.m. When that home is cried off at the courthouse steps, a couple things can happen. Either an investor is going to buy the property, or if an investor doesn't buy the property, the mortgage company bids $1 over what's owed, and the property becomes an REO, which stands for real estate owned. In either case, you're going to get an eviction very quickly. You've lost all your rights to the property. You are still in possession of the home, but that is a temporary process simply because Georgia's eviction process is even faster than the foreclosure process. So we want to avoid people getting to the courthouse steps. And this particular set of circumstances, and so just let me be clear. When you apply for a loan modification, it doesn't automatically mean you're going to get one.
It sure doesn't. A lot of times the mortgage companies will string you along and tell you, oh, we're working on it. But the process does not stop them from being able to foreclose on your house. In fact, I had a situation just recently, a few days ago, where the young lady thought that the entire time her house was going to be saved and possibly pushed off, and come to find out it's not. It is due to be sold in 2 days. And she thought, well, they told me they were going to work with me. And they sent her a nice little letter in the mail that said, I'm sorry, due to you are 15 days away or 10 days away, we can't do anything for you. So this is when she reached out to me and called and said, I need your help. And we got on the right track.
Right. You know, this happens all the time. I'm working on a short sale case for a client. We've been working on this case since October. The short sale is just about $30,000 shy from being able to pay off both mortgage companies. The second mortgage company just happens to not care that you are selling a property on a short sale. The client has brain cancer. He is not able to maintain a property. The property is too big for him. He's trying to get his health back together, and this gentleman is in his mid-40s. They got a full price offer on the property immediately. However, it still meant a short sale. So while we applied for that short sale, the second mortgage company said, we're sorry that you're in a binding contract. We don't care. You still need to apply for a loan modification. Now, how are you going to make someone apply for a loan modification when they're trying to sell their property? They don't care about the fact that you're in a binding contract. It's not even relevant to them. So what happened in this particular case, we got 3 months into applying, and this is the second mortgage company, by the way. We got 3 months into applying for a loan modification following this particular lender's guidelines. And to the fourth month, they end up selling a loan to another mortgage company. And we had to start the short sale process all over again. These people were never late on a mortgage. They scuffled while the husband was going through his issues with his brain cancer, getting his chemo treatments. He started doing much better. The mortgage company put us through all this drama, and guess what? They're scheduled to be foreclosed on Tuesday morning. Wow. So first of all, audience, we want you to be clear. Today is Sunday. You have one business day before Foreclosure Tuesday. It is not too late to get assistance. That is one of the main reasons why we're doing this show this evening.
Correct. We want to make sure that we help you all the way up to the 9th hour. You have exactly until 9:59 a.m. on Tuesday morning to do something about your upcoming foreclosure sale. you need to reach us ASAP so that we can assist you.
So let's just give you a little bit more history about who we are and what I specifically do. We have a network of law firms that work with us as well. We are not lawyers. I am actually a qualifying real estate broker. I'm licensed in more than one state. I've been in the industry since 1988. There's not one issue that have come up that I've not been able to help a client succeed a foreclosure issue or a crisis. This is a crisis. And let me tell you the reason why it's crisis. In the metropolitan counties of metropolitan Atlanta, you have 5 counties. In the smallest of the 5 counties, which is Cobb County, as far as the foreclosure rate is concerned, there are 110 foreclosures that are set to go to sell on Tuesday morning. That's just in Cobb County. Gwinnett County, there's 174. DeKalb County, there's 189. Fulton County is 238 properties scheduled to go to foreclosure this Tuesday.
Yes.
And then you have Clayton County, which is always staggering. That particular number is only 119 this month, but that's fairly low. The bottom line is you have over 900 people that are scheduled to be foreclosed on Tuesday morning. That says there's a crisis going on, and this is on a monthly basis. What we want to do as a real estate professional, we want to help people navigate and understand what their options are. Your options do not mean you have to be foreclosed on. We want to keep the homeowners in the driver's seat, meaning that if a mortgage company said, yes, we can do the modification for you, however, 4 months into applying for the modification, now you're 4 months past due, further into the hole. The investor that this mortgage company services the loan for, now let me be clear, just because you're making your mortgage payments to a Bank of America or Wells Fargo don't necessarily mean they own your mortgage.
Correct.
They actually service your mortgage for financial institutions that are considered investors. These are not private individuals. These are institutions. At the end of the day, you've applied for the assistance. You've gone through all the process, submitted your paperwork. At the end of the day, they said, thank you for your application. We have reviewed you. The investor that we service this loan for do not participate with these particular modification programs. Therefore, you've been denied. And guess what? Next month, we're foreclosing on you. These are unnecessary things that these mortgage companies do that irritates me. And this is what has motivated me over the years to be an advocate for homeowners in these types of situations. They could have easily have stopped the foreclosure, or in my client's case, not even started, understanding we are selling the property. But they could have very easily stopped that foreclosure and say, hey, let's put the brakes on this thing. Let's see if this short sale is going to be approved. These people have done all the things that they need to do. But yet still they went on and hired an attorney, started the foreclosure process. And indeed, on Friday, they told me the investor that we service this loan for will not allow the foreclosure sale to be postponed to give you the time to close on your property. Now, isn't that something?
Yes.
We've been talking about this since January about this property going into foreclosure, and they've been giving us assurances this entire time.
Yes,
So
because investors looking at it as what's in it for them.
not only that,
So-
it's an account number. They
Yes.
don't care about this man having brain cancer. They don't care about what your personal circumstances are. If you don't pay, you don't stay, and that's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. That's right.
We will get that foreclosure sale stopped. Trust and believe that. And I've informed both mortgage companies that in doing so, once we get the foreclosure sale stopped, I'm going to call you back and let you know, yes, we've indeed stopped it, was very successful in getting the sale stopped, but now some type of lawsuit may have to be filed because you have damaged this man's credit. We don't know what kind of mental state that he's in because he's done everything correct. They've asked for bank statements, they've asked for tax returns, check stubs, listing agreement, sales contracts. We are real estate professionals, and I personally handled his short sale. And if I wrote a book on this, I can guarantee you, I can tell you how to do a short sale. But in the 11th hour, the mortgage company told, in the first position, who's foreclosing, told me we need the payoff from the second mortgage company before we can put in a request to stop the sale. What difference does that make?
You're right.
We sent that to you back in the beginning of February. So why would you ask for that today? The bottom line, people, is when I have to go in expert testimony, give an expert testimony in court on any of these types of cases, because I do work with various law firms, and I understand you do as well.
Yes.
When we have to go and testify, we're not questioning the law, because these mortgage companies are doing everything they can legally to foreclose on you. That's the reason why Georgia is the type of state that it is, because it is a creditor-friendly state. I have never lost a case, and that is because I argue it from an administrative standpoint. Exactly what does that mean? That means when a right hand purposely don't communicate with the left hand, that's an issue. Case in point, I sent over the entire 81-page modification request for a client. The lender says, okay, we need this document, we need that document. I'm telling them, go back to the original 81 pages, it's in there. Trust and believe, I'm looking at what I sent you, and I have proof that you received it. They said, well, we didn't receive it. Now we get 3.5 weeks into the case. Now they're telling us it's too late to get the sale stopped because the documents weren't correct. And a lady that I spoke to said, can you verify the fax number that you gave, that you sent the documents to? And I gave her the fax number. She said, sir, that's not our fax number. That's the fax number that goes to a different department. I don't work for this lender. I'm giving you the information as per your instructions. This is exactly what I'm saying. The right hand is not communicating with the left hand. I took that client to court, that mortgage company to court for that particular client, and won the case hands down. We didn't argue any statutory laws. We didn't argue anybody doing anything illegally, because they're not doing anything illegally. That's what allows them to do what they do and you not benefit. A typical homeowner is not aware of that. Right. I don't work for this particular mortgage company, so how would I know what this fax number is? The case in point is the judge immediately ruled in our favor. And these people may be entitled to some damages later on, but at this point, the client just want a modification that they can afford so they can stay in their home.
Okay, so Mr. Washington, let me back up just a moment. I want to tell people about what is the steps they need to do a modification. And then once you give the steps, we're going to go right into if the if the modification was denied, what is the next options they have? Okay. Because we need to talk about those things.
Very good.
Everybody think only thing they have option-wise is a modification, because that's what most mortgage companies are preaching. But me and you know there are several options you have. So let's talk about the steps to a modification, then we're going to go right into what is the other options they have in foreclosure.
Very good. So step one, in communicating with your mortgage company, you realize an issue is about to happen. First of all, don't be afraid to communicate with your mortgage company. Crisis happens every day. My mother was just in a bad car accident the other day. Both her legs are broken. You never know what can happen to you, but you guarantee something will happen to you in a 30-year period of time that you have your mortgage financed. You're guaranteed. So first thing I would do is get in contact with the mortgage company and ask them, hey, first of all, this is a circumstance that I'm in. What can you do for me to help me stay in my home? Meaning whatever mortgage modification programs, forbearance agreements, any type of repayment plan. What is it that because I've been making my mortgage payments to you all these years, I'm not sure if my loan is being serviced by someone and you're babysitting it. Yes. Every month I make this payment, I'm making it to you. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you own my property or my mortgage. So tell me what, based on my condition and my circumstances, what you can do for me to help my family and I remain in our home. That's the first thing. Second thing is the package that is required. I understand that each mortgage company have their own very specific package.
Correct.
Please email me that package or send it to me by certified mail so I can have evidence that you sent it to me. Keep in mind, people, the reason why I'm telling you these strategic techniques is because any event that you have to use this as testimony, either in your own case or if you have to go to a supervisor at these financial institutions, you want to have a pattern, you want to have a record that you've done everything above and beyond, you've done it correctly. So now you have the package. Please understand, when you fill out your modification package, you have to fill it out in its entirety. Every checkbox, every date. If you don't understand what documents are included in this, please get in contact with us. It is vital that you understand the difference between a 4506EZ and a 4506T. The mortgage companies aren't going to explain to you how to fill the documents out. By law, they have to present the documentation to you, but they don't have to give you the approval, nor do they have to instruct you on how to fill that paperwork out. Large reasons why modifications are denied. The other thing you want to do is stay in constant communication with your mortgage company once you've submitted your package.
And I do mean constant, because the moment you drop the ball in communication, they are quick to say you wasn't communication. We didn't think that you were interested, so we've moved to a different department. So make sure you stay in contact.
Not only do you need to stay in contact on a consistent basis, but document it. The first thing they'll tell you is, for quality control purposes, this call is recorded for quality control purposes or for supervisory issues. Make sure, too, you are documenting your call, because I can assure you, when you need to go back and recap, just like in this previous example I gave, when a mortgage company asked for the second mortgage company's payoff, and I told them I sent it to them back in the beginning of February, They can't, number one, recall that conversation conveniently.
Mysteriously, yeah.
Okay? But they're going to tell you this because it's a form of intimidation. Now, whether or not they're actually recording these calls, I'm not sure. But I can tell you, if you object to your call being recorded, they're going to immediately terminate the conversation.
Correct.
So you want to stay in constant communication. You want to have documented proof that you've talked to these people and what you've talked to them about. You want to always get the person that you're talking to, because I can assure you, you're not going to talk to the same person every time.
Correct.
Get their name, get their ID number, and the time and date of which you had this discussion. And do not, please, do not get comfortable with the fact that they're telling you, oh, we're here to help. There's one particular lender there, it's on their voicemail. When you call them, it says, this is what we do. We're here to help you. Meanwhile, they're foreclosing at the same time.
Right, and ironically, they are being sued, and they have transferred their mortgages or paper now to PHH.
Wow, and that's amazing, because I'm dealing with PHH on a REO situation right now. Bottom line is, all these lenders, they go and change their names. They change their names because they're getting out of these lawsuits. Some cases that work, and because Wells Fargo was sued for billions. How does that help you for a homeowner? You need to take into account, and even if you're listening to us right now and you've been foreclosed on, go back and research who foreclosed on you. Who was the actual lender that actually foreclosed versus who you were making your payments to. Because there are settlements that are being made. I understand, believe it or not, mortgage companies actually trying to find the original homeowners that has already been foreclosed on to offer you your property back. So even if you've gone through this process, please do not give up. Please know that there are, how many 10 digits that they can call to get in contact with you, which are what?
Right now, it's going to be 470-251-4343. But if you want to contact us, it is
770-691-3050.
Kipling.
Real estate consultants and advisors. Please do not just sit back and do nothing, thinking that you do not have a chance in this complex real estate community and environment that we live in. Trust and believe there are solutions for you. I deal with a lot of foreigners. I deal with a lot of people that have they didn't go to school for mortgages. They are not real estate or mortgage professionals. They are feeling automatically guilty because they know that they owe the mortgage company because they missed a payment. Don't allow anyone to penalize you. Do not feel that you are less than who you need to be or who you feel you should be, because whether it's a mistake or whether you lost a job or you just went through something, who is above being a human? Who is above not having issues that can in one day stop you from being able to live the life that you've worked very hard for? It's up to you to make a choice on, do I want to live this and maintain it and be able to survive it, or do I want to sit back and do nothing? Because you know you owe these mortgage payments. You know you've signed these contracts and you've done everything that you needed to do. Don't just give up. That's the whole point. Even if you end up selling that property and making some money from it, don't just give up.
Okay, so let's talk about what are the other options besides modification.
Okay, you have several. We're going to talk about some legal options and some non-legal options. If your mortgage company has foreclosed on you and you feel that the RESPA, which is Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or Truth in Lending, TILA, any of those violations are federal violations, and you feel that the mortgage company has done something unethical or illegal that have allowed them to be able to move forward with foreclosure, contact an attorney. Don't just contact any attorney. Do not contact your cousin who's an attorney who think that they understand, and because they're an attorney, they know what legal problems you're going through. Contact very specific real estate attorneys that handle these types of cases. I can assure you, I have clients that are attorneys, and I have 2 judges that are clients. And just because they've gotten these law degrees does not necessarily mean they understand how to navigate through this process. So you have your bankruptcy options, which you can file bankruptcy. You can either do that pro se, which means you've done it without the aid of an attorney, or you can hire a law firm that can go and file a bankruptcy for you, which is a guarantee to stop a foreclosure. Keep in mind, it doesn't resolve your issues. It will stop a foreclosure. It's not going to modify your mortgage payments. It's not going to change your mortgage payments for you to make it more affordable. As a matter of fact, your payments will go up after the fact, because in a bankruptcy, you're going to have trustee payments on top of your regular mortgage payments, so be prepared for that. So if filing bankruptcy is your option, or filing a wrongful foreclosure lawsuit that have injunctive relief, meaning that you not only just filed a lawsuit against the mortgage company, but you're getting an injunction against them to prevent them from foreclosing on you, or a temporary restraining order. So just like you may have a temporary protective order against a person, you can get a temporary restraining order against an actual lender, and that will stop a foreclosure as well.
Well, we are getting ready to take a first call. Hold on one second. Thank you for calling Straight Grown Talk. This is Laquel. How can we assist you? Seems like the call dropped. Call back in again, 470-251-4343.
On your other non-legal options, you can always apply for a loan modification, but be aware that different presidential administrations create and change or delete rules. The Consumer Federal Protection Act that allowed you to be able to submit a loan modification 37 days before foreclosure stopped a foreclosure sale automatically. The problem is in Texas, as in Georgia, the foreclosure process typically takes place less than a 37-day period of time. So if a mortgage company tells you that you've submitted your documentation too late and you've passed the 37-day period, that's a lie. Now, this entity made it a rule for a lender to stop a foreclosure, but it is the mortgage company's discretion. They've hired the foreclosing attorney. They good and well can have that foreclosure attorney stop your foreclosure sale. Just know that there's a rule. The problem is under this particular administration, that agency is being dismantled as we speak. So again, when I talked about how the different administrations could be beneficial to homeowners or they can be against homeowners, that particular agency that regulated the way mortgage companies and financial institutions worked with consumers is being dismantled as we speak. But there are things that you can still do. From a non-legal standpoint, you can apply for a forbearance agreement. Now, back in the day, long before modifications were even known of, I was in a business of helping people. And the only option you can use was a forbearance agreement. And a typical agreement for forbearance means that if you are behind $5,000 and your monthly payment is $1,000 a month, you need to go and give your hardship, explain why you're in the situation that you're in. Now, this is a temporary situation. You're back to work. Everything is great. You need to come up with a down payment. That was an automatic approval if you could come up with 50% of the money that you were behind. And then that other $2,500 you had to finance over a 6, 8, 9, or 12-month period. That's called a forbearance agreement. You can still get a forbearance agreement this day. The problem is you don't always have to have a large down payment. You can have 1 or 2 payments towards that. So a modification may not be your option. You may be willing to, or the mortgage company may be willing to accept a forbearance agreement. First thing is, contact your mortgage company, ask them, hey, don't ask them anything. Tell them what your situation is, and then ask them what they can do for you. A lot of our clients have made mistakes by saying, I have no job at all. And guess what? I still don't have a job. What can you do for me? The mortgage company is going to tell you nothing.
No. Sometimes they will. They'll come back with, we have a unemployment modification.
Okay.
But you have to have filed for unemployment to be able to get it. And please note, it is for limited months. As soon as you get a job or your benefits stop, they will be asking you to reapply for another modification. I've had a couple where they were successful in getting unemployment modifications, meaning they paid something like maybe $80 to $150 a month, and as soon as they got a job, their income was recalculated. And then once it was recalculated, they went right into another modification. Also, I would love for you to tell them the little secret that we know about what their income has to look like upon applying for a modification.
Very good. And I want to just recap on this unemployment modification at first. One problem is everybody is not eligible for unemployment. So if you're self-employed or have something going on like that, or you've not worked long enough from your job and you're not eligible for unemployment, that may not be your option. You may have other options. So again, the bottom line is whatever the issue is, you got to show the mortgage company that you fixed it, and you don't foresee yourself going back into that situation.
Correct.
So just know that. But there's one thing you have to realize is in order for modifications to work, it's all about numbers.
Correct.
It's not about your personal situation. It's about numbers. So there's a front end ratio and there's a back end ratio. And you must have enough income to satisfy the lenders on both of those scenarios. So if your monthly payment can be calculated to about 31% of your mortgage payment or 31% of your income, you're eligible. So let me give you an example. So if you're making $5,000 a month, 31% of $5,000 a month, if your mortgage payment is up under that, your mortgage payment can go up. So a modification doesn't guarantee you that it goes down, but a simple way you can calculate your total financial circumstances and whether or not you're even eligible for a modification is take your monthly income, and we talk about your gross, and calculate that by 31%. And if your mortgage payment, your current mortgage payment exceeds that, then it is a very strong likelihood that your modified payment will be substantially less than that, and it would include taxes and homeowners insurance. So that's under the Making Home Affordable Modification Program, which unfortunately no longer exists. However, mortgage companies have developed their own programs that mirror that. Correct. So even though it's not called Making Home Affordable any longer, it still is a program that is based on those same criteria.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about when the client goes through the modification process and they get approved. Mm-hmm. What is the first thing they have to do to make sure that they keep that modification?
I love it. It look like we got a caller.
Another call.
Okay.
Hello, and thank you for calling Status Network and Straight Grown Talk. How can I help you?
Yes, I was calling. I have questions about foreclosure.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a pre-approval, and I go online and I see that there are a lot of foreclosures. What's the process of buying a foreclosure if you don't have cash?
So when you say you see a lot of foreclosures, are you talking about on the pre-foreclosure list where the homes are getting ready to be auctioned?
Both.
Okay. The deal.
Like on Zillow,
Mm-hmm.
if I see someone on Zillow, or if my agent shows me something or sends me something that's on whatever source she uses to get her foreclosure list, like how does that process go?
Okay, so on Zillow, and I hate to say this, but a lot of people base a lot of facts on Zillow, and unfortunately Zillow do not produce all facts.
That's true.
So for instance, if you see in a property that is scheduled for foreclosure, that means the property is still owned by the homeowner. If you see a property that is an REO, that means the property has already been foreclosed on and the property is ready to be sold. So there's a huge difference. So if you're trying to buy a property that is in a pre-foreclosure state, unless that property is listed, that property, even though Zillow says that it's a foreclosure, that means that the property is in the process of being foreclosed on and has not actually foreclosed yet. So that homeowner may not be a motivated seller, but they're still occupying the property. Now, if you are looking on auction.com or some other search engines that list actual bank-owned properties, you really want to look for the bank-owned properties because that means they're ready to be sold and the bank owns it. Therefore, you're dealing directly with the bank and your agent could communicate with the REO department or the asset management department of that financial institution to place your offer. So just if that's something that you're aware of and you're looking to buy a property that way, just now be aware that if that property has already been foreclosed on, a lot of these banks are not going to make improvements to the property. Okay, so if the homeowner was disgruntled and they were a little upset and they didn't take care of their property, most likely they didn't take care of their mortgage. They're not going to take care of cutting the grass and things of that nature. Just be prepared to you may have to come in and do some repairs to the property, but the lender will give you a discounted price if the home is in that condition.
Okay, now since she brought that up, let me ask the question. Is there a way that we have where if a client is about to go to foreclosure and they've exhausted all their avenues of trying to save their property, such as try to file a modification, they do not have enough time to do a short sale, they cannot afford to hire an attorney, what other options do we have? And we've used quite a few that we can even perhaps buy your home and bring the mortgage current and then get it fixed up and you move out. Can you explain a little bit about that? Sure.
First of all, Kipling Real Estate Consultants and Advisors is a full-service real estate brokerage firm. So first and foremost, we are listing properties. We're helping people with buying their first home or their dream home. It doesn't matter. We understand how to buy properties or locate properties at a wholesale price. So if you're interested in acquiring a property, we can actually be your source to do that. All of our agents are trained to deal with REO situations. They're trained to deal with pre-foreclosure situations. So if you're a homeowner, and to go further and to answer your question, if you're a homeowner, if you've exhausted all of your options, selling your home is always one that you can never go bad on, even if you owe more on a property than the property is worth. Correct. These mortgage companies under short sale programs are giving you relocation incentives.
Another caller.
All right.
Thank you for calling in. Straight Grown Talk. How can I help you?
The line disconnected.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So the mortgage companies are giving you relocation incentives, and they're allowing you to be able to get the foreclosure and late payments off your credit report. So if you are approaching a homeowner, if you got the information from Zillow, and you knock on that homeowner's door, because your agent may or may not be willing to do that, especially if the property is not listed. And that homeowner said, yes, you know what, I am in foreclosure and I'm interested in selling my property. Then you want your agent to communicate directly for you, because there are some things that need to be done from a professional standpoint. But just know that because a property is in foreclosure does not guarantee that there's equity in a property or you can get a deal. A lot of these properties are over encumbered. They may have second mortgages on them. They may not have paid their HOA dues. They may have IRS issues. There could be some drama going on that can actually make that a nightmare of a situation. So as you stated, you're working with a real estate agent. Make sure your agent is knowledgeable about finding distressed properties and understand how to deal with short sales and dealing with motivated sellers.
Any other question?
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Now let me ask you a question before you go. How old is your pre-approval? And are you pre-approved or are you approved? It makes a difference. Or did they give you some conditions? Okay. So meeting those conditions to get a final approval is something you could easily do?
Yes.
Okay, so time is of the essence for you, because those approvals are typically good for 30 days. So are you pretty okay with your agent locating these properties for you? And are you able to find what you're looking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Well, just understand that just make sure your agent is a little bit knowledgeable about how the foreclosure process works, if that's what you're looking for, because it can be a complicated issue and it could be a disaster instead of something that's going to be win-win for you.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
When they say auction and they give you the date to show up at the courthouse or the property, you have to have cash money for those leased properties, right?
Not all the time. So it's an excellent question. First of all, when it says auction, you want to get in contact with a foreclosing attorney that's handling the foreclosure on that property. And you can ask them, typically, how long would I need in order for me, once I win this bid? A lot of financial institutions will allow you to actually pay it off within 30 days, which means if you're coming in with financing, you should not have a problem. The issue can come up with, because you haven't seen the inside of the property, and if it's infested with termites or there's plumbing issues or electrical issues, your mortgage company is going to need an appraisal and an inspection in order for them to feel confident with lending you the money on that property. So just make sure you're doing your homework and you feel pretty confident. Drive by the property and make sure you're comfortable with that. Also, if the homeowner files bankruptcy the day of foreclosure and you really got your mind set on that property may not go to the courthouse steps because they filed something to stop it. So so always have more than one option.
Okay, so about the home inspection and everything, within those 30 days, we can have that done and then change our mind if something comes back on the home inspection?
You're asking all the right questions. When you buy that property, the problem is you're buying a property as is at the auction. That's the problem. Versus buying a property that is listed with a real estate brokerage, you can do what they call a due diligence period. A due diligence period allows you to back out of that with no problem. An auction will not allow you to back out of it without a problem. You will lose your deposit.
Got you. Okay.
Okay?
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for answering my question. It was some good information.
Thank you so much.
Sir David, we're about to wrap it up momentarily. I want you to give again all your company's information, how to reach out to you. I would like for you also to drop some nuggets on how we can assist them in this upcoming Foreclosure Tuesday, which is May 7th, 2019. It will begin at 10 a.m. Again, we can assist you. Make sure you give us a call. And now I'm going to let you take it away.
So, again, I'm David Washington. I am the qualifying broker for Kipling Real Estate Consultants and Advisors. We're located at 2175 West Park Court in Stone Mountain, Georgia, Suite E and F. That will be area, zip code 30087. Our phone number, 770-691-3050. You can join us see us on our website at www.kipling, Kiplan, rec.com. That's Kipling, rec.com. We are, but especially now, if you have to call at 12 o'clock midnight, please do. I can assure you our agents will be prepared to call you back. You have one business day, that's tomorrow, to actually get your foreclosure sale stopped. It's not too late. We have a network of attorneys and 2 judges that are on standby that can assist you with your legal needs should you need their assistance in getting your foreclosure sale stopped. Well, I have expertise with various mortgage companies, and I've gotten foreclosure sales stopped with phone calls. A phone call can get a foreclosure sale stopped.
In the 9th hour.
In the 11th hour.
Correct.
So I want you to also be aware that, we have clients that have either gone through a divorce, that the person that is no longer occupying the property, it's their name, this one on the mortgage, they're not willing to participate. Even if that's your circumstances or you had a death in the family, we had a young lady, I knocked on her door because a lot of times I will go door to door to our clients. I knocked on her door, she was 20 years old. Her mom just died in August. She died intestate, meaning she did not have a will. This young lady was not employed. The property was set to be foreclosed on in 4 business days. We were able to get that foreclosure sale stopped. We were also able to help her through a judge get the administrative stuff set up for the probate. So now this young lady has control of the property, and we were successful with being able to apply for a loan modification for the estate, allowing this young lady to be able to remain on her property. She was immediately in tears when we knocked on the door because she had no options. 20 years old, not understanding what's going on and how to even navigate it, she thought she had no choice but to allow the mortgage company to foreclose on. The specialties that we have and we possess here are blessings from years of experience. And when we talk about being able to specialize in real estate related drama, that's exactly what this is. This is not someone that just lost a job and or you decide to pick up and move and you walk away. These are real life issues that people are experiencing that you have to have a place to stay regardless of what you do. You lose that property, you need a place to stay.
Correct. So for further details, please give Kipling Real Estate a call, and Mr. David Washington and I will be gladly to assist you on this upcoming Foreclosure Tuesday, May 7, 2019. Again, take us out of here with your telephone number.
You can reach us at 770-691-3050. We always give free foreclosure workshops. We're going to start engaging the public, and we'll be able to apply for a loan modification on the spot, and you will have 4 attorneys you can be able to speak to at our free foreclosure workshop that's going to be coming up on the 18th of this month. Please contact our office to get more details for that. Again, if you need a loan modification and you're set to be foreclosed on for the first Tuesday of June, we are helping you prepare your loan modification documents for free.
Okay, so glad everyone joined us today on Straight Grown Talk. Hope that you got a lot of valuable information. Look forward to seeing you again on the 3rd Sunday of this month. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.